Hi there, Kar Yong here, and in this video we're going to talk about a specific stock. Now it's been some time since we last released an episode on the stock in focus series. So I've decided that what we're going to do is I'll do my very best each week. We'll release one video here talking about a specific stock to share with you my analysis, my perspective, and some insights as to whether perhaps you want to consider on investing or even trading this particular stock. Okay, so today's stock in focus we're going to look at is of course Nvidia, and I think this company here is not foreign, is one of the most traded company as well, and I'm pretty sure you are aware and you know what Nvidia is. Okay, so without further ado, I'll show you my screen, and then from there we'll walk you through some of the analysis, some of the different ways that we look and we research into a company, and of course by end of this video you get a much better understanding as to whether you want to be trading or investing into Nvidia. Okay, so first up over here, very quickly walking you through to give you a very quick understanding of what Nvidia is. Basically, if you're not someone who is very active in computer or even technology, you might not really be familiar with all these terms, right? Including me. Okay, but I think Nvidia is a huge company that even though you might not know the specific details of all these things, you probably come across or even hear about this company before. Okay, and over here, of course, you can see Nvidia is an artificial intelligence computing company, which is great, right? Because if you follow me in one of the video earlier this year in 2021, we did talk about how one of the big macro trend is of course in the AI, right? Artificial intelligence, and companies such as Apple and Microsoft are also part of this, where you want to keep a very close watch too. Okay, but we'll talk about those in some other times. But for today, Nvidia is definitely then also one of the companies that's involved in artificial intelligence, and definitely you want to keep an eye on that, right? Just based on this. Okay. But of course, we don't just buy and trade, invest into a company just because it's an AI, right? So we'll definitely go into further details of that. Okay, but I think over here give you a broader picture of what Nvidia is. Okay, so now for me, what I do when I look at a company or a stock, I don't just look at understanding company. I think it's more important is you have a complete holistic approach in understanding this particular company, right? So that of course includes like the fundamental perspective, from the quantitative as well as the qualitative aspect of it, plus of course you put in a little bit of technical, and for me I utilize the seasonal trends as well for each of these individual stocks, right? So in this video here we're going to talk about this various approaches and various analysis. Okay, so let's take a look at the fundamental first of Nvidia, right? So this is actually kind of like what I use, a checklist, right? A scoring system for a company for me to quickly understand, like out of a maximum of 21 score, how does this company fare? Okay, so in this case here, Nvidia, you can see it scored a total of 18 out of 21. Which is great, right? Because of course, we probably not get a company that is like 21 out of 21, right? The highest I saw was 20, which is fantastic. Okay, but you see Nvidia right now in this scoring system is actually in the green zone territory, which means that you can safely invest in this company. Okay, and you can be very confident about it. Okay, if you take a look at it, one of the element, or I would say two, right? Two elements here that are not very good is of course 2021 as of its financial statement, the change in cash was a negative, right? So that actually got a reduction of a point. But again, if you look into the details of it, it's not always bad. Okay, so you need to understand, does this change in cash relates to perhaps taking out some money to do some development, some R&D, or some expansion, right? Then of course with that it's a good thing, okay, because moving forward to a long term, that will be better for the business. Okay, the other one is the EPS trend. Okay, so for Nvidia, EPS trend here is flat. Okay, and therefore, of course, you can see a reduction of some points over there. If not, Nvidia would have hit like 20 or 21. Okay, so nonetheless, it's a very, very solid company. Okay, from this quantitative scoring system, 18 is definitely what I call, close to eyes. You can invest in this company very confidently and very, very safely. Okay, so that's from the fundamental perspective. It's a company that's worthwhile of investment. Now, if you take a look at the technical point of view of Nvidia, okay, recently with that, we did get a very, very strong bounce. Okay, and of course, last week we have an earnings release as well, right? So let me bring you to the earnings over here. Okay, so Nvidia actually beats its expected, right, or expectation, right? You can see over here, 18th of August. So the forecast or expected release was 1.02, but it came out 1.04. Okay, the forecast revenue was 6.33B, but the actual revenue release was 6.51, right? So it basically beats expectation, and therefore, you can see price actually moving higher. And if you go into some of the analyst forecasts as well, okay, many of the analysts actually raise its valuation of Nvidia, okay, and that also causes some buying interest and buying pressure on that, right? So as of today, you can see this is on the forward time scale, right? So you can see Nvidia has indeed breaks the previous high around 207.5. And it's breaking off very, very strongly, which is great, right? Which means that the momentum to the upside seems to be there. Okay. So from a technical point of view, what's the strength of technical analysis is to really give you the perspective of is it the best time right now to get involved in it, or would you rather wait for maybe a better price to get involved, right? So that's the strength of technical analysis. Okay, the fundamental that we just looked at just now is really to give you the confidence in knowing whether this company is worth that investment. Okay, so you do realize that the multiple factors or different ways that we look at the market has its strengths also, right, in providing you a holistic investment thesis. Okay, so Nvidia from a technical point of view, of course, from a chart perspective, you do not want to just jump in on a buy right off because right now, because we do get an impulse push. But what I would suggest is perhaps, if let's say price were to able to do some kind of consolidation and correction while maintaining above its previous high over here at 207.5, forming a flag here, then that gives you a very, very good sign that this can continue higher, and perhaps the momentum will follow through, and who knows, right, how high price can go from there. Okay, so from a technical point of view, it's very, I would say it's a good time to start monitoring it. Okay, but you do not want to jump in immediately, right? Perhaps what you want to wait for is a decent flag, okay, or decent correction to give you that confirmation that okay, this has a chance, a high probability of continuing higher. Okay, and the another layer that I use to analyze an individual stock here is seasonal, right? So seasonal, the idea is we look back at historical data to see if during any specific period do we get a recurring pattern year in, year out. Okay, so for Nvidia over here, based on the past 10 years data, which means from 2020, 2019, 2018, all the way back to 2011, between 27th of June to 15th of September, right, which is right now we are within this, right? So as of this recording, we're around 23rd, depending on when you're watching. Okay, this recording is 23rd of August, so we're in this window of period. Okay, so for the past 10 years, during June to September, Nvidia has never failed to rally. Okay, and the average return, during this window period is about 15.63%. Okay, so if you take a look at this year, okay, again, it's a very, very solid run, because you can see somewhere around 27th of June, okay, which is somewhere here. Okay, somewhere here. Okay, you can see again this year seems to be rallying as well. Okay, so if you take a look at the average rally, okay, for the past 10 years is about 15.63. So if let's say we take a rough estimate, right, 27 June is somewhere around here, and we estimate out about 15.6, right, is somewhere there. Okay, so we are getting very close to it, but of course, this is the average return. Does not mean that this year when it hits 15 and then there's no more upside. Okay, so price can continue higher from there, but this additional layer gives you two ideas over here, right? Number one, we are in the season where price of Nvidia has never failed to rally, which means definitely from now until maybe 15th of September is decent opportunity where we can look for buy trade. Okay, and of course the average return here give you an expected or expectation in terms of how much price can actually move. Okay, so that's where we are able to have some kind of like comparison, okay, or even expectation in the market. Okay, so if I were to quickly summarize in terms of this company here, right? Of course, the question that some of you are probably asking is, so is Nvidia a worthwhile company to be invested in, or can you buy Nvidia right now? Okay, so to answer you, of course, from a fundamental point of view, Nvidia has a good 18 out of 21, which is, again, I call this close to eyes, you can invest in it. So definitely Nvidia is a very, very solid company that's worthwhile to be considered as a long-term investment. Okay, and of course from qualitative point of view is dealing with AI, which is potentially the next big trend. Okay, so from that angle, investing into Nvidia, I would say, is a very, very safe, and definitely there are upside potential on that. Okay, now in terms of maybe shorter term trading or even like when to get involved in it, which is the best price to get involved in it, from a technical point of view, perhaps you want to wait off a little bit to see if you form a flag, and that gives you the additional layer of confirmation to take the buy based on the price point as well as from the time point of view. Okay, and of course in terms of seasonality, we do have that period where right now until mid-September, you have the seasonality trend in favor of looking for upside. Okay, so whether you're a long-term investor or I think short-term trading, Nvidia right now definitely is an opportunity that you want to be paying some attention to. Okay, so I hope this little video here give you some insights, not only into Nvidia specifically, but I hope giving you some ideas of how we look at the market, how we do our analysis, would also help you in your investing journey. Okay, so let me know in the comments if you're personally invested into Nvidia, I am, okay, or you're looking to get involved in Nvidia, right? Let me know in the comments below. Okay, and with that, all the best, and I'll see you guys in the next video.